Hi guys, welcome back with the Arnold Classic 2023 complete lineup result. So Patrick Moore has made a comeback after an injury. I can say he has brought a decent package. He has small tiny waist, amazing aesthetics, but I honestly think it was not the best version of Patrick. He was missing details in hamstrings. Maybe he was slightly heavy, but he was not tight enough. I think if you are not one of the biggest on stage and conditioning is also not on point, then you most likely won't get a chance to be considered a threat for the show. I think 2021 Cali Pro was the best look of Patrick. 52 years old Kamal Arghani did not disappoint again. His conditioning was on point. I think he was not as full as he usually is, but it was very tough lineup and he has presented a very impressive physique. Kamal has ended up taking 9th place. He will be competing in couple of months in Masters Olympia 2023. Justin Rodriguez has arrived at 8th place. Unfortunately, he could not bring his best. He was off conditioning wise. His abs were washed out, but he still managed to beat 2 contestants in the Arnold Classic 2023. William Bonac had to settle for 7th place this time, which is the lowest placing he has ever got in Arnold Classic. People have been pointing out his shoulders that he might have used side enhancement oil. His shoulders look a bit different compared to his 2022 Olympia performance 3 months before, but I think it's possibly a scar tissue. His midsection was not well controlled during the comparison rounds. Obviously, he has short torso, which gives him a blocky look. His back, especially lats area, looks smaller, but William has very round, bubbly and thick muscles which always give him advantage over his fellow contestants. And in my opinion, he was improved compared to his Olympia performance. He was slightly fuller this time and his legs look better. He has kidney issues, which is something serious issue in my understanding, and he still managed to compete. And I think it's a big sacrifice he did to compete or regain his title. And I hope he does fix his health issues and come back with a better version of himself.
A little bit inflammation in my kidneys, so I have to take we have to take measurement for that. So I have some more medicine to take, but I can't take it right now because I'm in prep. Yeah. Because it goes against each other.
Akeem Williams brought a bit sharper physique compared to his Olympia, which led him beating former Arnold Classic champ William Bonac. Akeem has enough size, he's mass monster, he just needs to nail his conditioning, in which he's not consistent, otherwise he has potential to be a real threat for the title. Akeem has taken 6th place in the contest. Sean Florida has managed to crack top 5 with $20,000 prize money. He came at 181 pounds with height 157 centimeters and he gave a tough time to his fellow contestants, and it was a very close battle between Sean and 125 pounds heavier mass monster Big Ramy. Although his short height is most likely the only weakness of his physique in men's open division, but he has presented very full, round and thick and very shredded physique which could not be disregarded. And he managed to dethrone half lineup including 2 times Arnold Classic champ William Bonac, which I think an impressive achievement for 40 years old Sean. So at 4th place we have Big Ramy. He has made very significant improvements and on a certain level, and in a very short amount of time he tried his best to fix his all issues he had in 2022 Mr. Olympia. Especially his legs are drastically improved, which is highly appreciable. And I think he could get edge from the judges the improvements he has made, but his conditioning was not the best and his arms are still downsized. Also, Andrew and Samson brought improved package, plus they have better structure, which I think that's why the judges decided not to give him any higher place. But it will be interesting to see what improvements Big Ramy makes with the stem cell treatment after 9 months for the 2023 Mr. Olympia. Andrew Jack has beaten Big Ramy and finished taking 3rd place. I personally had him higher than Nick Walker, but I think it's a great result for Andrew taking 3rd place in Arnold Classic. Many of us really admire his aesthetics and classic lines all over his physique. He has insanely well-built X-frame, and in some shots he really reminds me Sean Rodin and Serge Gnabry. In front shots, he was unbeatable in my standpoint, but his side shots are not really strong. His hamstrings still need to be improved. He has made drastic improvements for sure, especially conditioning wise. He's tighter, a lot harder, drier, and I think he was one of the most detailed and separated bodybuilders on stage. The mutant Nick Walker came to defend his Arnold Classic title, but he dropped down to the second place. I think his legs were downsized a bit, especially his outer quad sweeps. Seemingly he wanted to look more streamlined for the Arnold Classic, and he managed to bring more conditioning, and possibly he lost the fullness in his quads, and to me he looked narrow from his lower half. But from back and inside shots, his hamstrings looked insane, and he was one of the most shredded athlete on stage. Some fans had him winning the show, but the mass monster Nick Walker was beaten by the most balanced and aesthetically pleasing bodybuilder, Samson Dauda. So finally, Samson Dauda has won his first Arnold Classic Columbus, Ohio title. As I said, he was the most balanced athlete on stage, although he was not as conditioned as some other contestants like Nick Walker and Sean Florida, but he had the best proportions, symmetry, incredible structure and tremendous flow in his physique, and his lower half was extremely impressive. I think his abs were not sharp enough and he needs to bring more details in his chest and shoulders, but in my standpoint he doesn't need to be bigger, he just needs to work on his conditioning and his overall muscle quality. And last but not least, he had very artistic posing routine, which Arnold Schwarzenegger did not like it much, but I think it was phenomenal.
Even though I have to complain about his posing for some reason or the other, because because I think he has the most extraordinary muscle development up there on the stage, meaning the best proportions.
Yeah.
But his posing, somehow he always makes me feel like he's getting out of the pose 5 seconds too early.
Too quickly, yeah.
Too quickly.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts.
In a couple of years before, he was struggling to qualify for the Mr. Olympia, and now Samson is going to be considered as a big threat for the 2023 Mr. Olympia.
You're in a room for the whole 14 days. You're not allowed to leave that room for 14 days. You can see I'm in a room, that's it. It's been 7 days already, and you just basically stay in quarantine. So, and this is my dream, man. My dream is to compete, qualify for the Olympia, and stand on that Olympia stage, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes, man. I've sacrificed so much already.
So huge congratulations to Samson and his entire team for winning Arnold Classic, earning $300,000 prize money and qualifying for the 2023 Mr. Olympia. Thanks for watching.